Hi folks, and right, welcome to the next part of my video on the Blaupunkt stereo radiogram from the mid-60s. And well, the cabinets from the mid-60s, the cabinets from the early 60s, the chassis is from the mid-60s, and the turntable is from the mid-60s. Now this is a Garrard, this is a Garrard, not a Gerard, it's a Garrard. This is a laboratory series, I can never say it properly, series, automatic turntable. It will have a model number on it somewhere. Let's see if we can locate that. Right, let's see. Right, 26956, and there's 508. Laboratory balanced motor, which can run at 240, 200 to 250, or can run at 100 or 130 volts. And it's a bit of an abortion, this, folks. That's not the right word, sorry about that. Somebody has actually made a bit of a cockle here. Whoever did this before, if you're watching, you can't use that insulation from an old wire like you've done here. You can't use that. It's just not the done thing. It's, you know, and sellotape. Look here, folks, look at this. That is sellotape. Somebody at some point thought it was a good idea. Yeah, let's use sellotape, it's out of sight. Yeah, let's use sellotape. Well, this has all got to be redone, because it's got to be redone, because that is not safe, so that's got to be made safe. The mechanism's got to be lubricated. I'm not sure if we're going to strip the mech yet and lubricate everything, and that can come out. It just gets to know I put a fresh piece of tape in there, and I'm not sure we're going to just join on a piece of wire. Now, to be honest with you folks, this auto changer, it's actually in pretty fair condition. It's, you know, it's not bad. It's not as bad as some I've ever seen. And these should unplug. These wires should unplug from the side. Because I've unplugged these before today, but never mind about that now. So we've seen the mess that somebody's done under here. That'll all be done with a proper heat shrink. I've got some proper heat shrink tubing. The mechanism needs lubricating, because when I operate it, to move the control arm, this is called the control arm, by the way, not the overarm. Some people have been calling this the overarm. Now this is called the control arm, and the reason why it's called the control arm is when you get to the last record, that drops fully down and it tells the mechanism to switch off. That's why it's called the control arm. It's not called the overarm, as some people call it. I just thought I'd point that out, because, you know, I mean, yeah, okay, I make mistakes on my terminology sometimes, and I do expect to be corrected when I do make mistakes. So that's why I don't really have a problem correcting other people on their terminology mistakes. I like things to be described correctly. If you don't describe it correctly, it doesn't sound like you know what you're bloody on about. Anyway, what the problem we have with this, move the mechanism all works, but the arm goes right to the middle and then comes back. So that's the problem we have with that. Now let's see if the mechanism shuts off. I don't think it does, but we'll find out. See, we're at the last record now, so now that should switch off. It might not, because, oh, it will. There we go. Now we've assessed this, we know what it needs, and that could have been tightened a bit. See what I'm doing with that. Probably not a lot, but I'm going to put, what do you call it in this? I'm going to put what we know and love as the cheap Crosley cartridge, but for now, let's just tighten that up because I don't want to lose the screws. So I'm quite prepared to leave that old cartridge clip in. I'm quite prepared to leave that in at this point, because that way I won't lose the screws. So I'm quite prepared to leave that. And these wires here, I might have to rewire this. Oh no, I won't. They'll slide on. Didn't think they'd slide onto the cheap Crosley cartridge that we all know and love, but they will. They'll slide on. They'll be all right. They'll because sometimes they don't. But yeah, that will. That's fine. We're okay on that. Right. Pardon me, folks. Bit of a crackle there. From that part of me known as my rectum. Anyway, and the Garrard even want you to lift this at a certain area. They want you to lift it here, because they've written lift there. Oh, get off. They've written lift there, and that's where you lift it. It needs lubricating. I thought this pin here was broke off because that was moving too far back this way, but it wasn't. It wasn't. But there again, it's easy enough to make one of these pins if you know what you're doing. Now that should be a bit further that way. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to taking this apart now. Taking the Garrard apart is simple. I just need to find a tub to put the bits in, which was another handy in from Radio TV Phono Nut. Put your bits in a tub. Yeah. Let me just go and get a tub. There we go. We're back. We've got one tub. And we start off, and remember folks, the last part to come off, for the first part to come off, is the last one to go on. And what have I unplugged here? I need to sort of put a better deal out with that. I've unplugged the meter from my Variac. I need to sort out a better deal with that. I need to find an old pair of test leads that I've got probes on that are no good, that I can lock the ends off. I think I've got some somewhere. I've got to find them. Right, anyway, the first part to make sure we're on. The first part to come off is the last part to go on, and that is your centre spindle, as you all know. Now we'll take the badge out, the little turntable logo. We'll straighten that. That'll get tapped straight, or I might even use the rolling pin, warm the rolling pin up, and just roll the rolling pin over it and flatten it. Now the clip. Now As is often said by many restorer, repairer, always take them off carefully so they don't end up on the other side of the room. Now, I know this won't be seized, and I know this is going to be good to me, and I know it's going to lift off the first time, because it ain't seized. Because look, it goes round 3. So there we go. I just have to get my big fat fingers under it, and look at that. That's now the turntable I can put there out of the way. Now we've got the idler, which feels a bit crusty, but we've got a couple of those. So we'll take off the cycling gear. And we'll leave all that in one piece for now, because we'll actually do everything separately. Take out the ball race, which is probably drier than a nun's crotch, which yes it is. It needs re-lubricating. So and there's the bottom part of the bottom washer. Now, as I've been correcting terminology, if I get anything wrong, then please, and I mean this, I'm not joking, because I've been correcting people's terminology. I'm not saying who the people are because it's embarrassing, I don't do that. Now, remove the fibre washers along with the idler, and I can, at this point I can inspect the idler, and that doesn't seem too bad. That'll respond that to a clean, I think. But I'm not too bothered if it doesn't, because I've got a couple of these knocking about, so we're not really a problem with those. Get the other fibre washer. Do you know something? This is way going too easy, and there's bits of the idler. Look at that, there's bits of the idler there. I might put a new idler in. I've got one knocking about, and there's one on the desk over there, but I have got some. Now let's check the feel of the motor. Do you know something? That motor feels okay, but it will get serviced. Now the one thing I've noticed that a lot of people tend to neglect on these, and you won't believe it, is this little bearing here. You know, I'll just get my screwdriver. This little bearing here, you just put a little drop of oil on it. Nobody ever does it. I think I've seen one guy do it, and I've seen the same guy do a couple, and I've only seen him do it with one. But yeah, you have to lubricate that as well. Now what we're going to do now, folks, we're going to remove the motor, and the reason why we're going to remove the motor, because we don't want it getting wet, because all this is going to be washed and left to dry. But what I do, I spray degreaser on them, because it's a quick way of doing it. I spray degreaser, and these motor mounts might need to be replaced. Might have to order some in, because the grommets, sorry, motor grommets, might have to. I might not. I might get away with them. We'll see when I get it out, because this, believe it or not, folks, this is actually that's a bit tight. Well, there we go. Oh, look at that one, stuck to the bottom of the motor. It'll come out. Alright. Wow. There we go. That's moved it. There we go, got it. They got like a sort of like a, they got a taper on them which tapers out. As it comes down it gets fatter, and that's what holds them in. But now, as you can see, folks, look, they're still pretty squishy them, so they can go back in. So I'm not replacing them. They're not being replaced, I'm afraid, because as far as I'm concerned there's nothing wrong with them. So they'll be reused. Now, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. What a mess. Sellotape. Sellotape. Somebody's used sellotape on the wires. I mean, ew. I don't want to cause any damage here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to snip that there, as near as damn it. I'm going to snip that there, as near as damn it. I'll prepare that one. Right. What I'm going to do now, folks, I'm going to put the Garrard down there for a minute, and as it's in front of me, I'm going to prepare and do the motor. Now, I got this screwdriver, you know. I got this double-ended screwdriver a few weeks ago. Let's put that at the back there. I got it with a flat pack furniture that I bought, a flat pack desk, and it's actually not a bad screwdriver. Believe it or believe it not. Now, I haven't got any isopropyl alcohol, and as our good friends the Americans call them, I haven't got any Q-tips. So I am going to just use, make sure I remember which way that goes back on, pull the bottom bearing out. Well, it would help. I mean, it's been in there. Just turn that and it'll, yeah, it's been in there, hasn't it, all them years, so, whoops. It's been in there all them years, there we go. And you know some folks, it ain't even dirty in there. Do you know, that's not even dirty in there. That's lovely and clean actually, folks. Look at that, there's the rotor. What you might call the armature. And that is actually clean, that, folks. That's spotless. That's not bad. I mean, there's probably people pulling their hair out telling me I should clean it anyway. And those people, oh, there's a bearing, there was a ball bearing in there. There, look at that. How easy is that to lose? A ball bearing. Watch out for that, folks. A ball bearing in the centre of the motor. And I'm keeping this oriented, trying to keep it oriented correctly, so it goes back in the same way it came out. Hopefully, because otherwise it'll go around, otherwise the turntable will go around the wrong way. Now, I have actually got, believe it or not, and now I want it, I won't be able to find it. If I can't find it, I'll have to just make do with ordinary oil. But I have actually got, I've actually got some proper I've actually got a little tube, there it is. Do you know what this is, folks? Let's wipe it off. You know what that is, and it's still good. That is original oil supplied. Get it so you can see it. And it's still good. That's original motor oil and turntable oil supplied with a Garrard. A Garrard Zero SB that I once bought. It was brand new in the box. And as I don't like Garrard SBs because they belt drive, Zero SBs because they belt drive, I only bought it for the tone arm because I had a Zero. I had a Garrard Zero 100 rim drive. That had a bad tone arm on it because somebody had messed up the tone arm. Drop a bit of oil into the bottom there. We only need a little bit. Bit on top of that bearing. There we go. Just push that bearing into position. There we go. Move the oil so it doesn't go everywhere. Now I'm not I could take the pulley off this, but I'm not going to because it means I've got to piss about getting it right. And there we go. And this just allows you to drop the right amount of oil onto the bearing. Now put the main unit back in. To make sure we're level. How about that? Perfect. And I know this motor is good because it's tested. And I think that goes on that way. No, it doesn't. I think it went that way. Tighten this one in. Tighten this one down. And then there we go. There we go. That shaft will all be cleaned. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Right. I won't lie to you, folks. I was unable to find the clip, but luckily I keep things when I strip turntables and things down. I keep bits, so I have a few in store in stock. There we go. Sorted. That's that done. Now, to prepare the ball race. Now the ball race should be quite simple. I'll use switch cleaner on it. And I'll just get rid of all the crap and gunk, and even that's supposed to have grease in it. Not many people re-grease them though. I've seen people do them and not re-grease them. Now these washers have to go a certain way, and there we go. It's easy to work that out because the correct way has a line in it where the bearings have been running on the washer. There we go. Do you know what I saw in Maplin yesterday? I was in Maplin yesterday, and do you know what I saw? I actually saw, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, who the hell still buys a video head cleaner? They were still selling video head cleaner. Who on earth buys that now? I don't even know anyone with a video. Let alone the need to clean his heads. Yeah, that motor nearly caught me out with that bearing, didn't it, folks? That ball bearing in the middle of it. Because not all of them have a ball bearing in the middle of them. And when this is done, let's just wipe my bench there where there's contact cleaner. There we go. Right, that's all nice and clean now, that. So I will now go to my toolbox, get my grease. Well, actually I won't just yet. I'll do all that when I'm putting it together. The idler I'm not too happy about, and I have got a spare, so we should be good, but we'll sort some out with that. Right, folks, it's time for me to go and get me lunch and to degrease that mechanism. So I'm going to degrease that, and what I do, I spray degreaser on it, degreasing detergent. I spray that all over it. That's why I remove all the electrical stuff. And what I do then, I'll just rinse it off with a couple of kettles of red hot water, and because the water is red hot, as soon as it hits the metal, it runs off and the metal dries, so it doesn't rust. I used to do that when I was doing the jukebox carriages for the NSM machines. I actually did some for a guy, Richard. I can't remember his last name. A guy called Richard. He's on YouTube. He repairs, mainly repairs CB radios, and his main business is church pipe organs, but he repairs CB radios. And I did some NSM carriages for him years ago, and that's how I did those. That's how I did all my work, all my carriages. They were all done the same way because they come in grease. I mean, he found one in a field. He found one in a. He found one. It weren't in a field. It was actually in some bushes. You probably remember that, Richard. If you're watching, if you actually watch my videos, you probably remember that. It had no cartridge on. It was all corroded up. The motors were seized, and yeah, you know. And you rang me up and asked me if I could. You know, I think you said it only needed a little bit of work. Was I think the phrase you used. But yeah, we got it done, and I trust it's still working. I had to clean all the gunk and crap and everything off, but yeah, we got there. Got it done, and yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna call this part one. I'm gonna call this part one of the Garrard Lab Series service. I'm gonna call it that, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get me lunch and sort and clean that, degrease it, and then get back.